Hello, crafty peeps. Welcome back to my channel, Crafty-ish Kristyn. Today we are going to be working on my spare drill freestyle quilt block canvas. We will be working out of box number 5 of my spare drills today. I have pulled some colors out. I did not think too much about it. I just pulled some out. Hopefully they go together, or we might be digging in the box again. These are the colors that I'm going to be choosing from. I am going to be doing 2 blocks. If you are new and you have no idea what I am doing with this project, I am using a blank canvas from EverMoment, and I am using quilt blocks as inspiration for a bunch of different blocks of my canvas. I did pull up some inspiration photos from Google, put them on a little document. These are not technically, things I have to follow exactly. This was just kind of a jumping off point to get the ideas flowing. I also highly recommend, if you want to try this, get some graph paper, grid it out as to how you want, how big of squares you want, and try doodling and drawing out things, because you will find out what you like the looks of and what you don't like the looks of. So this is where we are at the moment. I'm going to take my pen back from the cat. What supplies am I working with? Canvas is from EverMoment. The black drills that make up the blocks are black resins from my spares. The sparkly, beautiful ones around here are from Diamond Drills USA. And the rest of all of these are ArtDot drills that I have in my spare drills. I am using a Flawa Designs tray. This is a ZAP Designs pen on Facebook. Zodiac Shadows straightener. I just got my Rokari release papers. This is the Crafty's Pippy design, and if you have been around, you know that I did the canvas with this image. So this would have been perfect, obviously, to have when I was working on that, but I could not wait. And that's okay. I am not sure if I'm actually going to get to use it on here because the release paper does not stick super well with, the square blocks that I've already put down. So we may just put it there for decoration, but for functionality, I probably will have to remove it before I hang this up on the back of the closet door. What else? Duncan is sitting here supervising the birds outside. He is not amused or happy with them right now. I do have a Sprite Zero Sugar Chill. It is cherry lime flavor, and I actually kind of like it. Don't worry. I'm not going against Dr. Pepper. It's 5 p.m. and I'm not allowed to have caffeine past 3 o'clock. Otherwise, I'm up all night. So, Sprite Zero Sugar Chill it is, because I'm a party animal. Aren't we, Duncan? Party! Boop, boop, boop. So, let me get zoomed in and we will get started. Alrighty, first square. I am going to use these 3 colors, and I am actually not going to copy one of my little squares. I kind of have a little idea in my brain. Oh, maybe don't stick it on the square dingy malingy. I have an idea in the old brain. Not sure if it's going to translate. We're going to find out together, friends. Yes, we are. All right. So these squares are 18 blocks across and down, and I did do that for a reason. I chose 18 because 18 is easily divided into 2 and 3. So I could do blocks like this that have, things divided into 3 sections, or things that are divided, you know, into a 4 block, etc. That was my reasoning behind that, and that looks so crooked on camera. Wow, it's fine. It's fine. So before I Duncan, could you? Oh, no, no, no! Don't you be stepping on my canvas, boy. Seriously, that is being a pet owner right there, right there. Okay. Before I was so rudely interrupted, I hope everybody is doing awesome, well, and amazing. And if you're not, I hope it gets better soon. And why? Why? Because you are awesome. Yes, you are. And you have survived how many of the worstest days ever that you've ever had? You've survived 100%. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. All right. My brain decided to try and freestyle something. Will it work? I don't know. It could be a mess. It would not be the first square on this project that I might potentially regret, and that's okay, because this is all for fun. It's just a little exploration, if you will. I already have ideas brewing in my head for a, what's the word I'm looking for? A more put together, more planned out version of something like this. But I should probably, you know, work on this a little bit more before I try to start another project, because I really don't need to start any more projects. Yeesh. Right? I don't even know how many whips I have, and if I counted them, I might just be kind of nervous about it. So, yeah. I would like to maybe get, let's see, maybe halfway through this project, right? And see if I would, you know, I want to give it a fair shot, I guess is my thing. Because I'm frustrated by these ArtDot drills. And I kind of knew I would be, so I'm trying not to punish the project for the acrylic drills. But man, they don't line up nicely, and they don't fit in the squares. And that has kind of been in the case with any canvas I have used with these drills. I did have them on a Heaven and Earth Designs cross-stitch conversion project that went horribly awry because of the glue and the drills. And anytime I have used these to fill in some square drills that maybe I was short on, or that I was missing, or maybe spilled and I was just going to replace them, I always notice they're too small. So maybe if, you know, ArtDot has their own canvases, because I know they do their own canvases, maybe they fit their grids, but just the ones that I have tried to put it on square canvases, no, it's been a no. Okay, so my thought for this square, okay, I went to the dentist today. And I was thinking, oh, it might be kind of funny if I did maybe little, like little squares coming off of, you know, like a little mouth, like almost like a little set of teeth. So if I did that, I would, and then this is kind of where my brain goes, you didn't think about this very well, did you? I would think maybe like 3, because you go 3 here, 3 here. Maybe I shouldn't have put that color away. I'm going to get that color back out, because I think it would be helpful if I maybe made like a little teethy outline. Yeah, That's a very right. Now that's a specific term. Teethy outline. Let's see. So if oh my gosh, and these do not line up nicely in my tray either. Oh, if I did like three, let's say 3 down and 3 down over here, right? Like so little, little chompers. Then we have 1, 2, 3, and then if we did 1, 1, 2, 3, then we did 1, 1, 2, 3, then we did 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's not gonna work. What if we did 2s? 1, 2, line, 1, 2, line, 1, 2, line, 1, 2, line, line. It's not gonna work because now we have a grid of 16 instead of 18, and we're interrupting things. I'm going to pause and I'm going to do some math in my head. Okay, well, you know what? This is not going to work exactly how I thought it is going to work. And you know what? That is okay, because that is what this project is for. It's for experimentation. Yes. Yes, it is. So, I like the idea of my teeth squares being 3 for some reason. So, we're going to do 3. Okay. It's not going to be a like even, line where I can probably put a line at the end. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay. Oh, freaking, I swear. These drills also don't like to stay. Like, they don't interlock nicely. You know how it's like, I feel like the resins kind of like slide into each other and they kind of nestle up. These ones just like but pop. It's the weirdest thing. Okay, so there's that. So we have 3, 3, 3, 3, 1. I know. If you like symmetry, just look away. So then on this side, I will go kind of the opposite edge, right? So 3. Not 4. 1, 2, 3, line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, line. And sometimes you just have to experiment and play around, and if you really hate it afterwards, you can pull them up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so see that it's kind of, it's artistic. Okay. All right. Now I feel like I need to put a topper on the teeth edge. Topper on the teeth. Yes. So we're going to go like this. Yep. There we go. Oh my gosh, that looks so freaking crooked. Anyway, so like I was saying, I have ideas for a better version of this. So will I finish this whole project completely? I don't know. Maybe not. And it's okay to walk away from projects if they are not speaking to you. And so I went into this with the expectation that this is just me kind of seeing if I like this idea at all. And really the only thing I bought was this blank canvas, and even then I'm pretty sure I got it on like a really good sale. And that's not to say I could put it up and in a year or more decide I want to work on it again. I do think having a specific kind of idea in mind, like if you're doing something this large, right? If you want it to look cohesive and not completely, random and not planned, then, maybe picking a color palette or picking some quilt style patterns that you like and you know they're going to turn out. I feel, do I have too many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18. No, but they do not look like they are fitting in there nicely. Wow. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. This is going to be my life's motto right there. It's fine. Maybe I should get a tattoo of it. You know how some people have like, you know, like thug life, or, you know, I don't know. What do people tattoo on their hands? I don't even know. I'm going to be like, it's fine. Yep. So my teeth are going to be pink, because why not, right? It's an artistic interpretation. I never can say that word nicely. Interpretation. Yeah. Does not. It sounds like a fake word. So I went to the dentist today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Normally I've had so many things done to my teeth over the years that going for a cleaning is just like, yeah, whatever. Bring it on, right? I had retainers growing up. Then I had to have like the headgear. I had teeth that had to be pulled. Then I had braces, and then I had more retainers. I've had gum grafts. I've had an implant tooth, you know? It just, I've had a lot. So a cleaning, no biggie. This cleaning, I don't know why the universe was trying to mess with me today, but oh my goodness. First thing I should have, prepped for, I didn't eat breakfast. Normally, it's not a problem. I can go run errands and not have breakfast, but for some reason, I woke up this morning and I brushed my teeth and I flossed, you know, because the dentist, obviously, you floss like you're hoping they think that you've been flossing regularly for the last 6-7 months. Yeah. And then I was like, oh man, I forgot to eat breakfast. And I said, yeah, it's fine. But because I had a thought of breakfast, my stomach started to make gurgly, burgly noises. And I was like, oh, geez, that's kind of embarrassing. But by then, again, I had already brushed. I'd already flossed. I'm not doing it again. So I was like, I'll just deal with it. So I go in and, you know, they take me back. And everybody's super nice at my dentist's office. Like, nobody's mean by any means. Like, and I don't have that. I know some people have dentist fear or trauma. I don't have that. And the lady, the hygienist, says, you know, oh yeah, you know, we need to do x-rays. I'm like, oh geez, you know, but x-rays are not like x-rays used to be. Remember, like, you used to have to put the weird giant thing in your mouth and hold it, and then they would run behind the curtain, and then they would push the button, and, you know, all that stuff. No, it's so much easier now. Well, I am one of those people that if something, you know, like the x-ray little thingy you put in your mouth, if it's in there at the wrong angle, it kind of makes me, you know, like, it makes me feel like I'm going to upchuck. But I've never done it. I've never vomited on anyone at the dentist's office, thank goodness. But she was putting it in my mouth and she kept twisting it. And it was almost kind of poking the roof of my mouth. And it was not a good feeling. It wasn't painful. It was almost like it was stimulating that gag reflex. And I was like, no, you know, I'm trying to, you know, spit it out of my mouth the second I hear the little machine being done. And she put the one kind of in like the side of my mouth, and I was like, eh. And I was like, okay, whoa, like, you gotta chill. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. I just, you know, my stomach already feels kind of weird, and you're putting it in, and you're, you know, it's poking, and it's just, I was like, normally I'm not that bad. And she said, well, have you ever tried salt? And I'm thinking, like, have I tried salt? You know, is she asking me, you know, if I want like some bath salts? Like, is she offering me drugs or some kind of new, you know, nitrous oxide thing? I'm like, salt? And she's like, yeah. And she digs around in this drawer and she pulls out a little packet of salt like you'd get at McDonald's to put on your French fries or something. I was like, no. And she goes, oh yeah, it's supposed to help if you have, you know, a gag reflex, because it gives your it gives your mouth and your brain something else to think about and concentrate about. I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I take this busted up little paper packet of salt and I tear it open and I pour it in my mouth. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's salty. Because, you know, it's salt. And she's like, does it work? And I was like, I'm definitely not thinking about gagging right now, that's for sure. But it was making my eyes water. So she's trying to put the little x-ray plastic bit in my mouth. And I'm trying to bite it, but my mouth is just like, I feel like I'm like a cat who's getting pet. Like my mouth is drooling, and not in a you know, a nice glamorous way. And I could not swallow enough because of the salt. So she finished the x-rays and I felt this weird lurch in my stomach. And it's a familiar feeling where you kind of, you know, you get that almost like your mouth is making a lot of saliva and you kind of feel a little warm and lightheaded. And I said, could I get some water? Because I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to vomit. And I do not want to vomit in this dentist's office because I like the dentist and I really don't want to have to find a new one because I'm so embarrassed. And, you know, the hygienist was cleaning stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, let me get you a glass of water. And she's kind of taking her time. And I'm just like looking around thinking, if I had to spew, what could I spew in that would not make a mess, you know? Like, because there really wasn't, there's a tiny little sink that the dentist can work in, but I didn't know if, you know, if I did something in the sink that it would go down the sink. So I stood up just in case I had to run to the bathroom, and she brought the water and I just like chugged it. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that feels better. Okay, great. Thank you. So moral of the story, if they offer you salt when you're getting x-rays or something, you know, and they're saying that it might help with the gag reflex, be cautious, or at least maybe have eaten something before you put a whole packet of salt in your stomach that might have actually helped contribute to the nauseous feeling as well. Yeah. So that was not how I wanted to start off my dentist visit. So she was doing her thing, you know, scraping and doing the stuff. But I don't know if it's just, I'm sure different people at the dentist office, you know, they have different ways of doing things. But it was different than what I'm used to. Okay, I think I'm going to do the purple and the blue for my 9-block square. God, stay down. Oh, but I have purple there. Ooh. And that's a really similar purple too. Oh, geez. What about... Let's do blue and orange. Why not? Why not? So she was doing her thing, you know, but she really was not using the little, you know, the suction tool. And I just kept feeling like and I'm sure it's my overactive imagination. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, but in my mind, there was a freaking swimming pool pooling up in my mouth. And all I could think is, how can she even see what she's doing? Because I felt like the drool and the saliva was going to overflow and just gush all over the office. So finally, I kept, you know, making weird little, you know, motions like I was trying to swallow or not swallow the stuff she was scraping off my teeth, you know, like, and she's like, oh, did you want to spit? I'm like, yeah, you know, because I'm also a people pleaser, and so I don't want to ask if I need something, which I'm sure she would have been fine with, but, you know, in my brain, I was like, oh, don't say anything, just deal with it. Yeah, so she was doing that, and I felt like there was a lot more scraping than normal. You know, there's always the plaque that kind of builds up, you know, behind your teeth where you can't reach, and in the little areas where, you know, the floss maybe doesn't get, unless you're perfect and you don't ever have to have anything scraped, which good for you, but I kind of hate you. But yeah, I love you all. I'm just joking, really. Don't cancel me, please. So she's doing that, and I'm, you know, trying to not flinch or, you know, jerk. But there were a few spots where I was thinking, is she trying to go down into my gums to make sure, like, the underside of my teeth are also free of plaque and buildup? Because, oh my gosh, that was a little intense. And I don't know, maybe if, you know, she was trying to be accommodating of me and my clear distress in some areas, but then she kept swapping, like crazy swapping back and forth, like this side, that side, you know, the front of this tooth, the back of the other side. And it was just very, like, my brain, I need people, like, if you're cleaning in between my teeth, right, you need to start on this side and go that way. You know, maybe you could do the fronts and the backs this way, or you can start here, go this way, and then if you need to do the backs, then you can go back that way. But going from up here to down here to up here to no. So I felt very discombobulated because I didn't know where she was going next. So my whole body was just tense, and no, it was not how my brain likes to have the teeth cleaned. So it was very chaotic. Not to say that it was, you know, bad. It was not what I was used to. These look so freaking crooked. Oh my gosh. They really do. Oh wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So she did finish, and, you know, they ask you what flavor polishing stuff you want, and it's just kind of like, they're all gross. So whatever. What's the least gross one you have? Usually I just go for mint. I figure mint is fairly safe. Every time I try one of those, when they say, would you like root beer or cherry limeade or something, it just, it's not it. I have been tempted. I have done the cinnamon before, I think. And I don't think that one was too bad. I do like cinnamon flavored things. But yeah, oh man, I was just, it was not my typical teeth cleaning. And, you know, and then there's always the, okay, do you want to get your appointment scheduled for next time? It's like, no, not really. But you have to. Because at our dentist's office, right now they are scheduling 8 months out, which is hard when you don't know if you're available on January 13th, 2026. I don't know if I'm busy that day or not, but I better make sure that I can do everything in my power to not have something scheduled on that day. Because if I have to reschedule my dentist appointment, then it will get pushed out even more months. The last time I had to reschedule a dentist appointment, they basically said, "Are you sure you have to cancel?" And I said, "Yeah, I can't be in two places at once. I have a follow-up appointment from a procedure, and I can't be, you know, in this city and that city at the same time with 2 appointments. And they said, well, if you cancel, you know, it's going to be another like 6 months unless we have a last minute cancellation, which is never convenient. And I'm like, seriously? And so I actually had to reschedule the surgery like follow-up because I couldn't get the dentist appointment rescheduled. It's like, that's just so frustrating. So if you're looking for a field to go into, apparently dental hygienist is a very in-demand field from what it sounds like from the people at my dentist's office anyways. They said they always have a job posting listed online because they just, apparently at least in our area, I can't speak for any other area, the competition and the businesses are cutthroat. They will straight up snatch hygienists from other ones, and they will find out how much money you're making, and then they will offer more. You know, and most, I mean, sorry to say it, but you know, most people could probably use more money coming in. So they will just kind of straight up leave the office they're in now to go to another one because they'll make more money. I was like, that's crazy. Wow. I didn't realize that the dental hygienist world is so cutthroat. I mean, I guess all I know is the YouTube diamond painting world, and I mean, I guess I should expect that the dental world is probably got some drama, because I would never have thought that as much drama and chaos and like backstabbery and just nastiness would go on behind the scenes in a, you know, a hobby that people do to relax and you know, cure their anxiety. And but it's like, oh my gosh, wow, I had no idea. No freaking idea. And I kind of miss the days when I didn't know it. Just sitting in my living room, my dining room table, talking to you guys, blissfully unaware of all the stuff that, you know, if you don't know about it, consider yourself lucky, honestly. There have been times where I have just questioned, like, what the actual duck is wrong with people. You know, like, we are all supposed to be adults in this world, and I'm sure it's not just diamond painting and YouTube and Facebook and all of that. I'm sure it's every walk of life. But man, like, how has our society gotten to the place where people think some of the things they do, say, act, or they think that that is an okay way to behave to another human being? Like, just no. Nope. Yep. Let's make the internet fun and lighthearted again. You know, remember the days when you would go into a chat room and like talk to somebody about, I don't know, like your favorite TV shows or something, or, you know, I feel like it was much simpler. Things were so much simpler back in the days. You'd have to sit there and wait for a response. You know, your dial-up internet. Just, man. It's a little too easy to be connected to things now. And I think, you know, people are a little too confident in the fact that they get to feel like they get to say or do whatever they want on the internet with no repercussions, because it's the internet. It's not real, you know. But unfortunately, actions have consequences, and I do find it incredibly interesting that, you know, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And you see, you know, people all over the place, you know, talking a big talk about, yeah, we care, but then you see people from some of those companies acting in ways that are maybe not helpful to some people's mental health. I mean, I feel like it's kind of maybe gotten to the point where what do they call it? Oh, is it not greenwashing. Is it pink washing? Is that what they call it now with Breast Cancer Awareness Month? With, you know, everything is pink, where companies are, you know, making pink things, and they say, oh, a portion of our proceeds is going to go to blah, blah, blah awareness, you know, or this society. But really, you know, so like, let's say it's an eyeshadow palette, right? And they're charging $70 for the eyeshadow palette, but you don't know what percentage of the proceeds are going. So really, $1 of that eyeshadow palette might be going to the charity that they're, you know, they're saying it's all for the charity, but really it's not, you know. That's how I feel like with some companies and stuff like that, with the mental health awareness, you know. It's do as I say, not as I do. And it just kind of makes me sad, because I know there is so much drama out there in the world in general. You know, the last thing we want is for the thing that we're doing to help deal with our, you know, or maybe our anxiety, our stress, our depression, whatever it might be. We don't want that to be dramatic and full of negativity. You know, that's why we're trying to escape reality. We don't want it to follow us. No. I feel that way with true crime. I've always loved true crime and that kind of thing. And, you know, I'll be watching it, and I was just watching one, and they were even saying, it was it Crime Weekly with Stephanie Harlow and Derek Levasseur. I think it's Levasseur. Sorry. I'm sorry, Derek, if you're watching. I got your name wrong. But they were even saying, like, you know, we don't go over these cases to be salacious or anything like that. A lot of it is, if we can bring awareness to somebody, we could maybe help someone, you know, realize a family member of theirs could be in trouble, or maybe they're in a toxic relationship. You know, if we can help just one person maybe get out of a bad situation, then that is why we're doing it. And to also, you know, give some of these stories of people who maybe something bad happened to them, or their families don't have any closure, to help them out. So I like watching true crime, because I like seeing the justice when, you know, somebody who's maybe done some horrible things gets caught and, you know, is getting punished for their atrocities. But I do get up to a point where I have to turn off the true crime, because I have a good imagination, and yeah, I'll start hearing noises in the house, and I'll be alone with the kids, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's the blah, blah, blah Ripper from Mississippi. He's in Washington, and he's coming for me. And yeah, that's when I know maybe it's time to watch something a little less stressful. So there's that one. Look at that. It's an interesting look, not gonna lie. Okay, so let me see. Let's try to use this little straightener. Problem is, I don't even know if I can fully straighten these. Come on, straighten. You can really see when they're crooked with the 9-block one, but it's fine. I will try to straighten them later. It's kind of I feel like every time I try to straighten them, I'm like, why am I even bothering? It's not going to work how I want it to work, because it never does. The only thing that straightens really good actually is the black drills, which I find to be, and I don't know if that's just because they're resin, so maybe they're more uniform in general, but yeah, these are just crooked. So it's fine. It's fine, Duncan, right? All right, and here we are zoomed out. I have my not quite teeth looking block. Oh, it kind of looks stupid, but it's okay. I had to redo that, I wouldn't do the double thickness line. I was thinking because that would be the top of the teeth, like the gums, but maybe don't do that. And then maybe even just do one row of the lighter green color, and then maybe the row with the teeth, and then do another row, and then maybe just kind of alternate, kind of like stripes with squares inside of some of the rows. But you know what? It's fine. It's supposed to be for fun, not overthinking. And I'm an overthinker. That's really hard to do and to practice what I'm saying. So like this, I keep trying to straighten that square up and it's not going to straighten up. Maybe it will. Hang on. Will it straighten up? Oh. Kind of. Let's see. I will say, you can tell how small these squares are based on the the gapping in, like, you can see it in the dark colors. I mean, you can see the whole row right here and right there. You can, I mean, you can see it. Ugh. So, but again, it's fine. Say it with me now. It's fine. That is going to be it for me today, guys. If you have not, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, hearting, farting, doing all the things. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. Big awkward hugs. Bye, guys. You want to say anything? Yeah? Test the microphone. Does it work? Oh, that was a mess. Why can't you ever remember what this project is called? Let's try this again, Duncan. Great. Meow. Hello. Figure it out, cat. Jump over there, or don't jump over there, but figure it out. So, Dr. Sprite? No. I didn't cut the plastic. I didn't cut it. Oh, don't stick back down. We are going to put this adorable paper. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is a strong magnet though. Wow. Okay. We gotta move it down. We need to get the zoomy zooms. Straighten. Why did you do that, Kristyn? Because you had to burp. Make sure to edit the burp out. Bye, baby. Boop. You're so cute. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Can I straighten? Can I just straighten all of you guys? Will you straighten? Straighten. Oh, that sounded not good. Come on. Will you straighten? Will you straighten? No, I won't. No, I won't. No, it doesn't look straight. Whatever. It's a worthless cause, and yet I keep trying.